Good morning, everyone. Happy Friday. Welcome to Power of Attorney. I am your host, LaTanya Moore. And listen, I'm super excited about today's show. And thank you. I want to take some time right now to thank everyone for all of your positive feedback from yesterday's show. And thank you guys so much for all of your emails and just your messenger, all of the things that you have sent me. I'm very, I really, honestly, I'm humbled by all of the messages that you guys have been sending me about how this show impacts your life, how the information in the show has helped you. So again, for those of you that are just joining, please make sure that you share this video, invite friends to watch. We have a very awesome show today, and we're going to be talking about how sharing your testimony has a positive impact on your brand. We're going to be talking about how sharing your testimony has a direct impact on your brand and building your business. So thank you guys again so much for being a part of the Power of Attorney family. I'm super excited about where all of these things are going. Good morning to you. Let me know if there's something specific. If you have a question, put it in that comment section. We are going to try to get to it. Just know that if I don't answer your question live, I do go back after the show and I go through every single question and comment and address those. So again, thank you guys so much for being a part. I'm going to give you guys just a few minutes, if you would, to share this video, because today we're going to be talking about something very important. And it's really how sharing your story has a positive impact on your brand. And so the first thing, I have to get my little testy, notebook together. But one of the things that where I really want to start is I really want you guys to know that every brand has a story, right? A lot of people, we don't even think about the reason that we make our choices, right? Even the major brands, right? So if you think about it, what's their slogan? What's that thing that they want you to think about, or the impression that they want you to have in your mind when you're making decisions about who you're going to spend your dollars with? And so some people, a smaller entrepreneurs, we don't think that it's a testimony or it's a story or any of those things. But if you really sit back and watch with a critical eye some of the ads, some of the commercials, they really do tell a story when they're looking to get new clients and build relationships. So guess what? This is what we are going to be talking about today. So I'm excited about that. Again, we're going to be talking about how sharing your story has a positive impact on your brand. And so I'm just going to jump right in, if that's okay with everyone. But before we really talk about what it means to share your testimony, I think, and I'm saying testimony, yeah, your history, whatever it is, your story, whatever it is that you identify with, that's really what we're talking about. What's your journey? What's your road? Because I know for a long time, I would never really say anything about my entrepreneurial journey, out of a lot of the reasons that I'm going to share with you guys in a minute about why people don't share their testimony, until I had someone really tell me, you will get a lot more business, LaTanya, if you share with people these things. And it took me a minute, like I told you guys yesterday, it took me a minute to come around to some other things, but it took me a minute to say, okay, I'm comfortable with really what I perceived as failure, putting failure out there. And so that's one of the things. Why don't people share their testimony? A lot of it is fear of judgment. I know for me, that had a lot to do with it, right? A lot of people, I personally have had the struggle with feeling like people are going to say, like, are you stupid? Like, why would you leave a corporate legal job where you're making really nice six figures? You have a great benefits package. You're able to vacation 4 times a year. You're able to go anywhere you want. You're able to pay cash for homes and cars and things like that, which was my story at the time. And so a lot of people, when I decided to step out and say, you know what, I'm gonna do the entrepreneurial thing, which again was over 4 years ago, people thought that I was stupid, right? And they actually pretty much said that, like, are you crazy? Why in the world would you do that? Because you're in a space and a place where you can command $275 an hour, $300 an hour. You really should be doing something else. And so, it weighed on me when I got to that place where my business did fail, right? Okay, I stepped out, I had some miscalculations, all of those things. So that is a big reason why people don't share their story, because they have a fear of judgment, right? They think about all the naysayers that tried to discourage them when they first got started. And I know that was me, right? I was like, what are people going to think? Here I am. I left this cushy, corporate job and where I'm doing things and, I'm litigating and I'm going to, Puerto Rico for work, or, you know what I'm saying? Or Miami, or, all these different places. They're sending me all these different places for training. I'm on the national training team. I'm training mediators. I had a place and a space, that other people, at least people as young as me at the time, they hadn't achieved that. So a lot of people thought that I was crazy. Here's the thing. I had to get over it, right? So I'm going to quickly give you guys the top 3 reasons I believe that people don't share their testimony as part of their business brand. 1, I just talked about, is the fear of judgment. 2, the shame, right, of failure, which is really not the same of fear of judgment, because the shame is more internal, right? And then the 3rd is the fear of not being able to ever succeed, right? And that's a little bit different, right, than the shame of failure, because the shame of failure is more about what used to happen, right? Okay, Niecy says, she's giving me kudos, y'all. I love Niecy. That's my girl. But she says that's why she left. She left the 9-to-5 ideology 25 plus years ago. And so what I'm telling you is that sometimes a downturn, because I don't really see when things go south in the business, I had to retrain my thinking to say, well, Latanya, this is not failure. This is really the cost of doing business, right? Some things work, some things don't. What you have to figure out is, why didn't that work? And that was some things that I did. I was able to get with my team of people that I could reach out to and say, I need for you guys to help me identify what went wrong, right? But when we're talking about the other people, right? Because a lot of times we do want other people to see us as successes. I mean, as much as we want to see ourselves as successes, we want those kudos from other people. For those of you that say that you don't, I guarantee you there's at least one person in your life that you want to be proud of you, even if it's your spouse, your parents, your siblings, your children, your grandchildren. There's someone in your life that you want them to look up to you, right? And so again, there's always that person, right? There's always people. Guess what? Some of them may be people that may no longer be with us. So we must think about that. So a lot of times I know lots of people that have shared with me, and it's been my own experience, that once I started really sharing my authentic story, right? The trials, the failures, how much money I lost, how I was in a deep depression, all of these things. When I think about that and I've shared that with people, and other people have shared these same types of things, everybody's response and results are the same. They get flooded with clients, right? They get flooded with people that say, you know what? I went through that very thing, right? That same thing. I know I've been there, right? Thank you, Latanya, for sharing. Thank you, Niecy, for sharing. Thank you. Alex Akorji is on as well, and you guys may know her. She's the queen of expression. She lives in Nigeria. Alex has an absolutely fabulous, amazing story. Her entire brand launched out of her sharing her deep story that had been happening. Her entire brand launched because of it, and now it is literally an international recognizable brand. But if she had been too shameful to share that brand, right, to share that story, there would be no brand, right? Kenya Halliburton says, you inspired me to begin sharing my story. Thank you, Kenya. That is so sweet. And guys, Kenya has the Shiro Squad, for those of you that don't know. And I'm telling you, it is invaluable. It is invaluable for you to share your brand. So here's something else And again, I'm telling you guys about all of these people. These are people that are on this timeline, right? And I read their comments. They're telling you why they shared their stories. They're telling you what happened, right? They're encouraging you. And the reason that I'm bringing that up, guys, is because I want you to know that there's a reason why you should look at this differently, right? When you say to yourself, I'm not going to be afraid, I am not going to be ashamed, and I'm not going to yield to judgment. Once you make up your mind that you are going to continue to fight against that, I'm telling you, your brand will explode, because once you embrace it, the people that are trying to oppress you, the people that are trying to deter you, the people that are trying to minimize you and diminish who you are, they're going to fade into the background. You know why? Because they no longer have any power. They are going to be the ones that are going to be ashamed. They are going to be the ones that are going to be fearful, right? That what they did to you is going to be exposed and their standing is going to be threatened. See, this is really what it is. This is why people don't want us to tell our stories. This is why they don't want us to tell our testimonies. But one of the things I tell people all the time, look, when I was in my situation, when I literally was seeing money it seemed like it was just going down the drain. When I saw that and I had to close my doors, I had a friend that said, I want you to come and like stay at my house, right? And I was in my friend's, might as well say her basement, right? And here's what she did. She let me have my time. I will never, ever, ever, ever forget this. We're going to do a show together. I'm going to get her to come on the show and we're going to talk about that. She probably ain't going to want to because she don't like for people to know that she does these things. But for me, it's important that I really just do that. So one of the things that she said to me about 2 weeks in was, knock, knock, knock at the door, right? Okay, you have done this enough. I need you to pick it up and I need you to start moving just one step at a time. And that changed my life, right? That changed my life. Alex says, people only connect with people they trust. Sharing your story helps your audience, customer, clients, and tribe to get to know you better and understand what drives you. 100% on point. And so for those of you that if you can write, if you're taking notes, this is something I want you to take notes on. I want you to take notes on the process of how it works. Once you come to that place where you say, I'm going to share my story without regard to what people are going to think about it. I'm going to share this story, right? Now I'm saying this. I would suggest that you do have a support system in place. Even if it's just that one person that's going to say, you know what, girl, you know what, man, don't worry about it. Keep pushing, keep pushing, keep pushing. And it may not be people that are directly around you, right? And I'm telling you that because you will get backlash. Know it, you will get backlash. So that's why I'm encouraging you to have, even if it's just one person that you can lean on and call and say, man, this is what's going on. And they can talk you through this period, right? Where you're going to want to run back into the cave. So here's sort of the process. Again, for those of you that are taking notes, if not, you may want to come back later and write this down as a visual. So the first step is you sharing your testimony. After you share your testimony, just like Alex said, connection, right? Someone is either going to connect with it or it's going to become a point of reference for something that they go through later or for a person that they know. But the reality of things is that once you share that, it is a connection being made with the people that need that at that moment or know someone who needs it. So you share your story. Now you have that connection that you've made. After that connection is made, then you have the opportunity to build a relationship, right? You have an opportunity at that point to build a relationship. After that, you're going to create a client, a customer, a tribe member, an ambassador, a collaborative partner. Now, what am I saying? Resources, right? That's the next step. The next step, after you make the connect, after you tell the testimony, after you make the connection, right? after you create that relationship,